The lion does not only pursue prey, it confronts other predators to hold its position. Each step across the savanna becomes a test where strength is examined from every direction. Between tall grass and the scorching open ground, instinct collides with strategy in every brief decision. When an encounter unfolds, it is not only prey that is weighed, but control over territory itself. In this world, a single mistimed moment is enough to shift the balance of dominance. Between lions and hyenas lies a rivalry shaped over generations. Each time they come face to face, the air seems to tighten. This is not only about food, it is about territory, access to water routes, and the right to stand at the top of the savanna's order. And at times the goal is not a final outcome, but to make the rival understand one thing: today is not the day to return. An adult male lion often weighs nearly twice as much as a spotted hyena, but hyenas rarely arrive alone. They gather in groups that can range from 10 to 30 individuals, persistent and unyielding. They shift positions constantly, testing reactions, applying pressure, stretching the patience of their opponent. Numbers create an invisible weight. Many species yield to it. The lion does not. When the hyena clan grows too confident and closes in, a boundary is crossed. The response from the one that holds authority comes as fast as a flash, without warning. With a recorded bite force that can exceed 650 pounds of force, a single clamp can be enough to take away an opponent's advantage. Yet what slows the hyenas even more is something harder to measure: presence. A steady gaze, unhurried steps, the calm of one accustomed to being challenged. Not every encounter carries on to its furthest point. Sometimes the hyenas pull back early. Sometimes they linger at a cautious distance, waiting for an opening that never appears. But one thing remains almost unchanged. When the roar carries across the grass, the entire plain seems to hold its breath. In that moment, order is restored through presence, weight, and the memory of those who once turned away. African wild dogs are among the most persistent cooperative hunters on the savanna. Their success rate can reach nearly 80%, driven by disciplined formation, endurance, and an ability to read one another's movement. Yet the surge of activity after a hunt, the calls, the pacing, the rising energy, can sometimes open dangerous gaps. Under the midday heat, as the pack gathers beneath the shade of a tree, another presence moves in quietly. A lone male lion advances from downwind. No sound, no signal. Every sense is focused on the single moment that matters. The burst of speed comes as pure instinct, breaking the formation in an instant. One individual that fails to separate in time is locked in place, sending the rest of the pack into sudden disorder. They scatter in different directions, searching for cover in the brush. The lion does not pursue. It pauses, watching as silence slowly returns. The objective has been met. On the savanna, control does not always come from pursuit, but from appearing at the right moment. In a world where every sound carries a cost, silence is not an absence. It is power. The cheetah represents speed itself. On the savanna, no other cat accelerates faster in the opening seconds. But speed only holds value when paired with absolute awareness. And at times, a single lapse is enough to open the door to an outcome that cannot be reversed. The lion surges forward, securing the target through weight and position. Any advantage disappears at once, leaving no room to maneuver. The encounter concludes swiftly, within the tense silence of the savanna. This is nature's unforgiving lesson. One delayed moment is enough to erase every advantage. On this land, awareness is not a choice. It is the condition for survival. The leopard is shaped by concealment. Its spotted coat blends into dry grass, its steps so light that even the wind seems unaware. Climbing comes naturally, and remaining unseen is a strategy. Yet even these advantages are not always enough when a lion's boundary is crossed. In rare encounters, the lion does not rely on speed to chase the leopard. It understands just how agile the opponent can be. Instead of pursuit, the lion uses numbers and spatial pressure, gradually narrowing the available space. As the pride closes in, escape routes begin to fade. The leopard lowers its body, forelegs raised, claws directed toward those drawing closer. This is not a challenge, but a final defensive response. Turning away would invite greater risk, so facing forward becomes the safest option. The leopard holds a steady gaze, a signal of restraint meant to protect itself. If fortune allows, it may slip into the brush when the circle loosens. At other times, the silence may stretch on without end. This is not a story about food. It is a message of territory. On the savanna, boundaries are upheld not only through strength, but through decisive moments, where the weaker side is left relying on chance alone. Between lions and crocodiles exists an unavoidable bond, where the dry savanna meets waters filled with hidden danger. Both stand as top predators within their own realms, and every encounter becomes a harsh test of instinct and limitation. When a lion is forced to swim across a river, the advantage shifts immediately. Beneath the murky surface, the crocodile's strength is at its peak. A sudden approach from below can disrupt the lion's rhythm, pushing it to struggle to keep its head above water. Even so, in the case of an adult male lion, body mass and reflexes are often enough to break free, bringing the encounter to a swift end. But when the situation reverses, everything changes. Once a crocodile leaves the water, its heavy body becomes slow and vulnerable on slick sand. If it cannot turn back toward the river in time, it quickly loses leverage. The lion understands this moment well. Without haste, it uses pressure and positioning to control the situation, where water no longer offers protection. Confrontations between these two dominant forces rarely last long. The strongest is the one who chooses the right terrain. Water belongs to the crocodile. Land remains the lion's domain. Across the endless grasslands, wildebeest move like a living current, numerous, resilient, and a familiar focus for lions. They are not aggressive animals, yet they can reach speeds of around 50 miles per hour, and their herd response is so rapid that the entire group can change direction as a single body. On a calm morning with a light breeze, one wildebeest lowers its head to graze, alert but unaware of the gaze fixed from a distance. As the gap closes inch by inch, the burst of speed is measured in breaths. The lion doesn't miss the moment, moving in with precise timing. Even while gaining control, the curved horns remain a risk, forcing the lion to position carefully and avoid a costly misstep. Within minutes, partners arrive to bring the pursuit to an end. The herd continues forward like the wind, but numbers do not always protect every individual. On the savanna, a single mistimed step leaves a mark, and the lion waits only for that moment. Among the most dangerous rivals a lion can face, the African buffalo consistently ranks at the top. With body mass that can exceed 1,500 pounds, horns curved like axes, and an unpredictable temperament, the buffalo is never an easy presence to confront. Yet it is precisely this level of risk that makes it the most demanding test. The first charge sends a tremor through the ground. The herd shifts in an instant. One individual falls out of rhythm and is pushed beyond the protective line. But what sets buffalo apart is their collective resolve. Within seconds, adult bulls turn back. A wall of muscle moves straight into the pressure, forcing the lions to separate. This time, the balance changes. The pride withdraws, leaving behind drifting dust and heavy breaths. The one that holds dominance does not always claim the outcome. Encounters with buffalo reveal a clear rule of the savanna. Strength does not rest solely in the advance, but in the ability to stand together when tested. From heights that nearly touch the clouds, the eagle enters the arena as the only one that truly commands the sky. Each powerful wing beat carries the force of its muscles and broad wingspan, pushing even the air out of its way. Its extraordinary vision allows the eagle to dive like an arrow, turning speed into a refined art of control. In just a few brief seconds, the distance disappears, and the target on the ground becomes nothing more than a small dot held firmly within its reach. This is not just a single hunt, but a declaration of the power of a bird that can turn the entire sky into its own private arena. In the dense forest, monkeys are masters of climbing. Their light bodies, often just a few to more than 10 pounds, blend skillfully into layers of thick leaves. They move in groups high above the ground, gripping trunks and narrow branches, leaving almost no open space exposed. But the eagle always knows how to find an opening. If even one monkey becomes absorbed in feeding and drops its guard, a chance appears immediately. With a wingspan reaching over 7 feet, the eagle remains agile in the tight spaces between branches. It dives down and brings the target under control with its strong talons. The hunt ends quickly, as the prize is carried back to the nest to feed its young. Within the ecological landscape, this blend of stealth, altitude, and sudden dives shows how the eagle overcomes the quick movements of monkeys and maintains its place within the complex forest canopy. Mountain goats are masters of the cliff, their split hooves gripping ledges only a few inches wide. Their solid bodies often weigh more than 60 pounds, over 5 times heavier than an eagle, making adults almost untouchable targets. Yet, in the rugged terrain, young goats can become separated from the herd, creating rare openings for a hunter from the sky to take advantage of. Once a target is set, the eagle turns its body into a compact spear, gliding cleanly along the rock face. In a brief moment, the young mountain goat is brought under control through a combination of speed and the strength of one of the largest birds of prey. Soon after, the prize rests on a secure rock ledge, where the encounter comes to an end. Each successful dive provides energy for many days and makes up for countless earlier attempts that ended with nothing. Its endurance, agility, and ability to use the terrain allow the eagle to hold its place in the Rocky Mountain ecosystem. Fish are a vital source of energy and a key link that sustains sea eagles and many species living near water. With a diet that can reach up to 90% fish, a mix rich in protein and natural fats, this food supply provides steady energy for long flights. The hunt begins with an impressive dive, triggered when eagle eyes, like natural binoculars, spot flashes beneath the surface from more than 2 miles away. A precise moment of contact follows as the talons secure the fish and the wings push upward, lifting the body cleanly into the air. In just a few wing beats, the hunt comes to a close, and the water settles back into calm. This journey not only ensures a strong source of nourishment, but also becomes a natural training ground for young eagles, teaching them how to read timing, maintain balance, and coordinate their wings, passing survival skills from one generation to the next. Foxes are known for their sharp awareness, with sensitive ears and an ability to blend into tall grasses. They often search for rabbits, insects, and sometimes pick up leftover food. Even with their caution, there are moments when a fox becomes focused on a scent trail or on the meal in front of it, unintentionally ignoring the silent shadows passing above. When all conditions align, the eagle descends in a swift dive, startling the fox into twisting away or reacting with a quick snap. Yet against the eagle's advantages in speed, altitude, and especially the firm control of its strong, curved talons, the fox's agility on the ground gradually loses its edge. The eagle removes a competitor from its hunting area and brings the encounter to an end. However, if the fox slips into difficult terrain or responds with enough determination, the eagle must abandon the opportunity. This confrontation reflects the harsh balance of nature, where both predators constantly rely on strategy to protect their territory and sustain their place in the wild. On the grassland, coyotes gain an advantage through pack strength, agile bodies, and strong jaws that allow them to handle many types of prey. They move constantly, making use of any food source they can find. Only when food becomes scarce and a young coyote is separated from the group does the eagle get a chance to approach from above. In the moment of action, the eagle descends in a powerful dive, turning its wide view and height into an immediate advantage. The strike is carefully measured to avoid the opponent's jaws while maintaining control from the air. The encounter often ends quickly, before those on the ground can fully react. However, there are many times when adult coyotes respond with determination, forcing the eagle to rise back into the sky to avoid a direct clash. Both species know their limits and understand when to pull back to conserve energy for the next opportunity. And this shows that in the contest between sky and ground, there is no absolute ruler. Only survivalists who understand their boundaries and know the right moment to advance or retreat. Eagles, especially the brown snake eagle, are well known for a diet that often includes snakes, making them a significant threat to these reptiles. They are not selective and even approach venomous species, including the black mamba, which can reach nearly 9 feet in length. The key lies in their legs. A naturally thick and sturdy layer of skin helps reduce the risk from sudden bites. Although not completely resistant to venom, the eagle maintains control through speed and near-precise accuracy. Along rocky coastlines, some eagle species use a similar strategy with sea snakes. When a snake crawls onto warm rocks or rises close to the water's surface, that moment becomes the perfect opening. From above, the eagle dives and brings the encounter to a close in an instant. Thanks to a natural tolerance for a portion of the toxin, the eagle can handle the entire catch with little noticeable impact. This is clear evidence of their exceptional adaptability and a reminder that in nature, strength comes not only from muscle, but also from the refined way each species uses its own unique advantages. The rabbit, a small and fragile creature, constantly faces numerous predators on both land and in the air. Its survival depends entirely on speed and agility, which allow it to quickly evade nearby threats. Upon detecting a predator, the rabbit immediately accelerates to speeds of 35 to 45 miles per hour, combining long leaps of about 10 feet each time to maintain a safe distance. Its agility on the ground inadvertently catches the attention of the eagle, a predator with exceptionally sharp vision. The eagle dives with astonishing speed, its strike brief and precise, like an arrow released from a bow. Its sharp talons grip the rabbit's body with a force of roughly 400 to 500 pounds instantly. All these factors combine into overwhelming power, enabling the eagle to successfully capture the rabbit and complete the hunt. On average, eagles succeed in hunting rabbits about 20 to 30% of the time, reflecting the harsh challenges of the natural world. This encounter also plays a crucial role in the ecosystem, helping regulate rabbit populations, sustaining the open food web, and supporting long-term stability for the predators of the grasslands. In the wide grasslands of Australia, the kangaroo stands as a symbol of endurance and strength, powered by exceptionally strong hind legs and a thick tail for support. It weighs more than 100 pounds, far larger than a fully grown eagle. When forced into a face-to-face encounter, a kick from those hind legs is enough to make any predator cautious. For an eagle, this is not a typical target, but a test of limits between sky and ground. The encounter begins when the first eagle dives, attempting a quick jolt to throw the kangaroo off balance. But this kangaroo is not easily unsettled. It reacts quickly, forcing the attacker to lift back into the sky. In rare situations, 2 or even 3 eagles coordinate, taking turns diving from different angles. Yet, with the large difference in weight and the kangaroo's powerful stance on the ground, they still cannot hold the opponent long enough to gain an advantage. The encounter ends without a clear loser, but it leaves a clear message. Not every strike is meant to claim a catch. Sometimes the value lies in testing one's limits and recognizing the boundaries that should be respected. As the sun sinks lower, the savanna returns to a silence that feels endless. After each encounter, what remains is not noise, but boundaries shaped by experience. The lion does not rule through raw strength alone, but through the ability to choose timing, choose terrain, and recognize the mistimed rhythm of others. If these moments of survival inspire viewers to continue following the wild world, they can like the video to support this storytelling journey. And they can subscribe to avoid missing the next stories, where nature always speaks in its own way.